Hello YouTube and all newcomers to my channel. I welcome you. Here is where I write fantasy books, fantasy stories, bring my fantasy world into the physical. So I hope you guys sit back and enjoy this video. Recently I have been unavailable to YouTube. Many things going on, many plans, many events, as life is as a writer. It's just how things are. You get down to do a project and something else comes up. So I have been doing a lot of thinking, and a lot of people, the people that I do talk to, uh, they ask me, who is this Dorlax? And it kind of has me thinking, who is he? So I say, I might have to, like always, take on another project and start crafting out his origin story. I do talk about him in this book, Mini Barda. I did have it on Amazon for a little while, but I took it down because I wanted to change some things. I have it, and see, in this book that I wrote, it is storytelling and also has a story within it. So the premise of this book was there was two explorers that were looking for clues. One is trying to find clues to where he can find his dad. The other one is of a dying race that is looking to help her friend and also try to find a remedy to help her dying people. I'm not going to get too much about that, but that's kind of like where I start with this book. But in here, I talk about where Dorlax starts from and how he becomes who he is. But I don't go into extreme detail on what he is, where he came from, how his parents. So I decided just to kind of like use this video as a brainstorming and kind of a idea builder for me, and as well maybe help inspire any kind of writer who watches this, any writer out there that watches this video. So with my world, I have, this is only some, it's kind of foggy, but this is a timeline of my world itself. So the way the world is structured, anything that is before the rise of the Eolen Empire, it's initiated, initialized or abbreviated by BAE, which is before Eolen Empire. And anything after the fall of this empire, it's AAE. So Dorlax, when he rose to power, it would be 901 to 989 AE, during the time of the Eolen Empire was young and coming to fruition. So during that time, he is under the tutelage of a female dragon. And I didn't really go into detail of how she was his lover or anything like that. So within the society of the dragons at this time, there's several different types. There's the dragons that we know, the large dinosaur size beasts with wings, and then you have smaller ones that are the size of horses. They're used as horses, and they fly around. And then you also have the humanoid versions, which are two distinct different types of the humanoid versions. There's the Alphagrans and the Dalphagrans. There is a separation between beliefs on those two groups, so they kind of separate the ways, and one group hates the other one. And there's actually a distinct difference between the two of them. One looks more humanoid, the other one looks more animalistic. But they still walk on 2 feet, but they have a little more of a snout, they have horns. Those are the Balthagrans. The Alphagrans look more similar to humans, but they still have a scaly skin, and they have a smaller snout, and they're more of a human size. But anyway, the dragons themselves have the older ones have the ability to transform themselves into a human. At this time, humans are not around yet, so they're just considered humanoid or alphas. That's the shape they take. An alpha, to dive into that, is the ancestors of the elves. The elves are a lesser version of the alphas. The alphas and the Vista alphas were two very greedy type of people. They're very arrogant, very haughty, and they did not appreciate lesser beings. And that was a flaw that the dragons put into them while teaching them. So there's a whole thing with that where there becomes a war between the Vista alphas and the alphas, because one came before the other one. So there's more of a sibling rivalry between those two groups. And the dragons, they like to take very astute students from those two groups to teach them magic. And Dorlax was an elf that grew up in the kingdom at that time of Alva-Liva, and his parents were killed in a raid, so he was an orphan and he was living in the streets. A dragon disguised as a humanoid or an alpha found him and decided to take him in and have him judged by the Dragon Council, because he felt there was magic within the presence just being around Dorlax. So they took him and they decided to teach him the ins and outs of magic. So by the time he was 40, they decided to give him to one dragon to do his final steps in the study. And in the process, he fell in love with this dragon, and she fell in love with him. And there is a rule where you do not show your human form to non-dragons. And she made the mistake of doing that, but kept it between them two. But later on, the council found out, and she was punished for it. I'm not going to say what happened, but she was punished for it, and so was he. And that's where it kind of spirals out of control. So from there, he kind of rages a war to get revenge, and also to find out where she's being imprisoned and so forth. But yeah, that's kind of the idea of who Dorlax is. In this book, I do a similar breakdown, and I show what he does, what he can do, and how he finds a way to turn himself into a dragon. And that's one of the secrets that she taught him, not knowing that he would turn evil or turn bad. So anyway, so now, yeah, I have been thinking about writing either a short story novella thing, maybe a 30,000 page book just on Dorlax, or make a full-blown book of Dorlax. I have enough information to do that, but that's just going to add to my workload on top of everything else I want to do. Excuse me. So there's another project I want to do. Hopefully the camera can pick it up. So that book nook that I made where it has the figure coming off the top, my next idea would be to make that coming off of the book. So it's a little show and tell for you there. So those are the kind of things I'm kind of working with on top of the other two books I'm trying to finish up, which I need to do. I have 3 chapters here written by hand that I need to get to. So yeah, I'm just procrastinating, thinking about other things when I shouldn't. But that's just how my mind works, is I have all these ideas and everything, and people ask me, where do you get your inspiration from? I was like, well, I have been writing in this fantasy world of mine for so long. I have information coming out of my ears to where I can actually sit down and create my own inspiration. So if you guys are interested in copies of these, let me know. I can probably get a couple and then send them to you, but let me know. These are like, in comparison, these are my Silmarillion kind of thing. So I have a lot of information in these books that I don't talk about anywhere else, and they're not for sale right now. So if you do want one, I could get you one, and you'll be one of the few that have it. Special few. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning into this video. I know it's 12 minutes long, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys found some sort of inspiration in the video itself. And as always, guys, stay being creative.